Every week, we say we are an open and affirming congregation. But what does that actually mean? When I started preparing this Pride moment, I thought I'd talk about history, from the earliest records we have through Stonewall, the AIDS epidemic, the Pride flag, famous LGBTQ alphabet soup people, and everybody in between. And then I realized something. 4 weeks wouldn't be enough. So instead of trying to tell you the whole story of Pride, I'd like to tell you mine. Because every LGBTQ person has a story. We stand on the shoulders of people who fought so we could live more openly than they ever could. We honor them by telling the truth until one day that these stories aren't extraordinary anymore. I always knew that I was different. As a kid, I got along with the girls just fine, except maybe one. The boys were okay until we moved to the Spokane Valley between 3rd and 4th grade. Making friends was really hard. We lived on the edge of the school district. The big Catholic family next door to us wanted nothing to do with me, maybe because we were Baptist and took communion with shot glasses and Wonder Bread with the crust cut off. Growing up gay isn't hard because of who you love. It's hard because of what you have to learn to survive. You learn which parts of yourself are safe to show, and you learn how to answer questions without really answering them. You learn how to hide in plain sight. People think the struggle begins when someone comes out, but for many of us, it starts years before that. Those survival skills often follow us into adulthood as overthinking, people-pleasing, and always reading the room. Junior high wasn't kind. I was skinny, clumsy, terrible at sports, and an easy target. My safe places were choir, piano, and anything artistic. Apparently, that checked enough boxes for the bullies. There was always an excuse for how they treated me, but never a reason. My family attended church constantly, and music became my home. I played piano for children's classes, evening services, choirs, typical Baptist, anyone who needed someone at the keyboard. Then, during my senior year, everything changed. A guest youth minister stood at the pulpit and announced that boys belong outside playing football, not sitting at a piano bench. Everybody looked at me. I was humiliated. My parents called a meeting with the pastor and the youth minister, and I demanded that he apologize publicly from the same pulpit where he shamed me. And he refused, and we never went back. For a long time, I believed that he had stolen something precious from me, not my church, but my joy in music. It hurt so much that there were days when I wasn't sure life was going to get better. Thankfully, it did. Just before I turned 18, I finally figured out that I was more than just different. Years later, I moved to Portland, hoping to discover who I really was. I came out. No feathers, no glitter, just me. I fell in love. Then AIDS arrived. The man I loved closed relationships with everyone, became sick, recovered, became sick again, and died. His partner died too. I found myself walking into MCC Portland carrying grief I didn't know how to name. Complete strangers simply loved me. No conditions, no questions, just love. And in that place, I came out again. In 2019, I met Jonathan. He was a breath of fresh air for me. Always kind, always helpful, always fearless, with that grin and that amazing tenor voice. He asked me to help with a fundraiser for at-risk middle school youth, and I said yes. As our friendship grew, we grew closer together. And then I pushed forward, and he said no. And you'll have to ask him what happened then. We celebrated a Holy Union in 2001, but we couldn't legally marry. There were no hospital rights, no federal recognition, no guarantee that we'd be treated like family. We moved to LA for work in 2003 and finally married in 2013. This year marks 25 years together. That's about 184 years in gay time. Since then, I've come out more times than I can count. Every new job, or choose to dodge the question. Every new community, every time someone casually asks, "So, are you married? Do you have kids?" A closet is nearly always cheaper than a flat. And now, today, after over 7 years attending WHCC, I've officially come out to all of you. Now I'm one of the grumpy old men that sit in the balcony that Jim Henson probably based those Muppets after. People ask who the heroes of Pride are. Yeah, there's some famous names like scientists and CEOs and astronauts. But the heroes and sheroes I remember are different. They're every parent that stands beside their child when it would be easier to stay silent. They're the strangers who offer love when someone has nowhere else to go. They're the people who staged vigils in hospital rooms beside dying men and women and babies during the AIDS crisis. They're the couples who built families when the world said they couldn't. Our friend Pat in Portland that hosted an angel room in her home for people with AIDS to come and transition when their families wouldn't have anything to do with them. Those are my heroes of Pride. People often think that Pride is just a celebration. It isn't. Celebration came later. Pride began as a resistance. It began because LGBTQ people were told they didn't belong, that they should hide, that they were less than. Pride says otherwise. It says every person is worthy of dignity. Every person deserves to love and be loved. Every person is created in God's image. When we say we are an open and affirming church, those aren't just welcoming words on a sign out front. They are a promise that someone walking through these doors may be scared, may be questioning, may be carrying wounds that no one else can see, will find what I finally found years ago. If this is your first time here, or the first time you've heard this, I hope you walk away thinking, there's room for me here. No judgment, no conditions, just love. Thank you for letting me share my story. Happy Pride, everybody.